Hello and welcome to Lesson 4 of the Advanced Preparatory Piano Tutor Book. In this lesson we will learn a little bit more about the silent change. We will learn about dotted quaver notes. We will learn about semiquaver notes. And we'll also learn about a little sign called the grace note. So sometimes in a piece of music you are required to change your finger on the same note in the middle of a piece. This is called a silent change. So an example is shown here where you've got your G's, and on the second G, from the fifth, you change to your fourth. And that's called a silent change. You've got a second example here. We're in D position, second note is a D, then you swap and finger two, and there you have it. Now in the next piece over the page, the can actually has these silent changes in. So if you look closely, you will see that the example I've just shown you is shown here where you do the silent change on the G's, where you change from a finger 5 to a finger 4. Then if you go on another couple of bars from there, the same will apply with the D, changing from the finger 1 to the finger 2. So you just need to be aware of these silent changes, and because of that I do suggest that you do try this separate hands to begin with to get used to doing this new technique. The other thing that's worthy of mention in this is that at bar 7 you get a section which is in unison, which is actually the scale of C major playing both hands together. So again, that might need a little bit of practice because you've not played scales both hands together before, and so I would extract that little bit out, that's bar 7 and 8, and practice that individually as well. Now did you notice at the end the sneaky octave when you went from the middle C up to the top C as well? Just be aware of that. Okay, moving on. So the next page shows you about the dotted quaver note. So far you've learned about the quaver, and that's worth half a beat. Now if you add a dot to it, that makes it half as long again, just like you've done with the dotted crotchet and also the dotted minim. So a dotted quaver is actually worth 3/4 of a beat. And you have the opportunity to write some dotted quaver notes in the book here. Then when you go over the page, you find out about semiquavers. So semiquavers worth 1/4 of a beat. And you can see you've got one semiquaver written, and you can see it's different from the quaver in the fact that it's got 2 lines on. Now sometimes quavers are grouped together in 4s to produce the value of a crotchet beat like that. So you can see they're barred together to make a crotchet. But again, you'll notice that they've got 2 lines on, as opposed to the quaver ones which have 1 line on. Now sometimes one semiquaver is grouped together with a dotted quaver to produce the value of a crotchet like this. And so that's another way of barring the notes. So your first piece here, called Boogie Woogie Bonanza, actually has this dotted rhythm in. Okay, now I call this rhythm my Humpty Dumpty rhythm because that's how it sounds. So I'm going to play it to you now. So it's Humpty Dumpty, Humpty Dumpty. So if you get that in your head, you'll get this right. Did you notice in this piece the SF at the end, suddenly loud, sforzando? And you might have noticed as well that at bar 15 you've got your octaves. So moving on to the last lesson of this book, for this part of the book, which is Joe Call. Now this piece has in a special kind of little note which you can spot just here. Now these notes are called grace notes and also called appoggiaturas. It's an ornament and it's there to decorate the main tune. So when you play this, what you need to do is use what I call a special technique called a jazz slide. So you can see it's fingered, finger 2 to finger 3. So what I do, I slide off the note like that. And if you do that, you get a nice smooth sound when you play this. You also find that you've got another one here at bar 9, same thing, see? Slide off it, and B to C, you can't slide off it, but try and keep it as smooth as you can as you play it. And that's why you've got the word legato written in this. And that completes lesson 4.